For the 12-year-olds and the parents out there that looked at you as a role model, what do you want to say to them to make them believe in you again?
Well, it's going to be over time. It's going to be my actions over time. I'm trying to become a better person each and every day, and there's the proof in the pudding is over time, and that's what I'm trying to do. I will continue to do that.
Tiger, you've been a master of control your entire life. How did things get so out of control?
Going against your core values, losing sight of it. I quit meditating. I quit being a Buddhist, and my life changed upside down. I felt I was entitled, which I never had felt before.
And Leo Bennett. Neo Bennett. And Zen Bennett.
So this is the great Bennett family, and I just heard before the meeting recently these two young men achieved great result in his endeavor in the sports. So.
Okay, all right. And what do you guys want to be doing in the next next year or so? Jumpers. Yeah, doing the jumpers. Okay, I'm just gonna run through the tack check and just check out with everything. This just ends up being long, so I'll just tuck that in. And just stick your leg forward for a second. I'm just going to tighten your girth up a hole. Okay, I think we're all good to go. All right, let's go large to the left. We're going to kind of run through position checklist. Now, you can do this, what we're going to talk about is every time you ride. At the start is just a nice little kind of way to tell if you're starting out in the right position and everything. So, we always start with our legs and work our way up our body. So, starting down, what we're looking for, let's get the three of you to take your feet out of the stirrups. Good. And have a look down and see where your stirrup leather and your stirrup iron is hanging. So, if you had to draw a line from your stirrup leather to the ground, do you think it would be straight, perpendicular up and down, or do you think it would have a little angle on it the way it's hanging right now? I think it would be pretty much straight up and down. So that where your stirrup leather is hanging right now, when your feet are not in the stirrups, that's exactly where you want it to hang when your feet are in the stirrups. Get your feet back in the stirrup irons and adjust it to where they're comfortable. Good. And for the three of you, it looks very solid that stirrup leather hasn't moved forward or back. Okay. Now walking around, I want each of you, one at a time, starting at the front of the line, to stand up in your stirrups. Good. And then settle back down into the tack slowly. Good. So what this does is this tells you whether your leg is too far forward, too far back, or just right. So go ahead and stand up in your stirrups. Very good. And settle back down into the tack. Good. Do that for me one more time. Sit down a little bit more slowly. So stand up in your stirrups and slowly sit down. Very good. It's just nicer for your horse's back. Very well done. So that when we do this, if we find our balance falling back, it means our leg is too far forward. If we find ourselves losing our balance forward, it means our leg is too far back. So we're talking about finding our balance on our horses from our lower leg position. You want to be able to draw a straight line from your head to your hips to your heels. Okay, so now talking about hands and rein length. So that what you want is you want your upper arm from your shoulder to your elbow to be just in front of your ribs, with your elbow just in front of your hips. Yes. So what you want is you want your hands above and slightly in front of the withers. Good. And with your hands in that position, the reins need to be short enough so that there's very, very light contact with your horse's mouth. If you find that there's no contact with your horse's mouth when your hands are there, it means your reins are too long. And if you find that there's a lot of contact with your horse's mouth when your hands are there, it means your reins are too short. So show me light contact with your horse's mouth. Ah, pretty good. I think you could even shorten your reins that much more with each rein. Very good job. Good. That's the correct rein length. That's the correct position for your hands to be in. Yep. So that we want a straight line when we're riding around from our head to our hips to our heels. The relationship between a rider's hands and the horse's mouth is one of the most important relationships we'll talk about between horse and rider. It lets riders be effective and get the job done with their horse, but at the same time, if the hands are really sophisticated and smart, that the horses will listen, but without getting upset about the hands. And that when there's a straight line from your elbow to your hand to the bit, that your hands can work and keep the bit working properly in the mouth. If the hands get too high and they break the line up, it's taking the bit up against the roof of the horse's mouth, which is not so comfortable for them. And if the elbow's working down and it pulls the bit down in the horse's mouth against the bars, which is a very sensitive part of the mouth. So that we're always aiming to try to keep that line from elbow to hand to bit. And your pony right now is trotting a little bit too fast. So bend your arm, yes, much better adjustment. And then when you get what you want, relax your hand as much as possible. Good. And now as you're posting around, let there be a little bit of movement in your elbow so that as you post up, very good, your elbow straightens a little bit. What that does is that keeps your hand in place. So for you other two boys, have you heard that? When you're posting, when you rise up, your elbow and your arm need to straighten a little bit every time we rise up so that our hands don't post up and down with us. Good. We'll give them a little bit of a longer rein now, and this is their free time in some ways. So when we're giving the horses a break, we can let them have a little bit of a long rein. They can stretch their heads and their necks down. So give them let the reins get a little long at this point now, boys. Let your reins get long. I want you to do two things. Leg, if there's no response, leg with a cluck. If there's no response to that, leg with a cluck and a stick. And the stick hard enough that you get a good reaction. Kind of two different ways to find your balance. Finding your balance from your stirrups and finding your balance from your seat. So we're not going to do a ton of it, but we're going to work a little bit without the stirrups. We don't need to cross the stirrups, but let's take our feet out. And I'll come around to you. So take our feet out of the stirrups. Good. Now when you're riding without the stirrups, a really good thing to do is to take your leg off, stretch it down, and get it as down and around as possible. So do the same with your other leg. Good. So that's the feeling you're always trying to get when you're riding without the stirrups, is that your leg is very, very long and deep and around your horse. So boys, look at me for a second. I want you to take your leg off, stretch it out, and then wrap it down and around your horse. Good. Good job fixing that. Yep. Keep it going. Kick him. Kick him. Good. Put him right back to work. Well done. Shorten your reins. Fantastic job there. Good. Every time your horse tries to do something like turn around and rejoin the others, and you prove to him that he has to work, you're making a very good point. Yep, put him back to work. We don't care. Give him a kick. Kick him harder, meaner, tougher. Good. Yeah, kick him again. Kick him again. We don't care. Hit him hard. Good. He can't pull that with you. Very good. So this is where I like being nice to horses, but sometimes we have to be a little bit tough as well. We're going to play a little bit with changing the pace within the trot. So go ahead now, a strong leg, and show me quite a forward trot. Very good. And now stretch up, bring your shoulder back, and shorten your trot. Good. Very well done. And sit in. Now you're sitting trot, and lift your hand. Yep. But keep a little leg on. That's right. Slow down, but keep a little leg so she doesn't walk. Very, very good. And posting trot, back to a normal trot. Good. Yeah, not bad. So there's a couple things. We don't ask for the canter out of the posting trot. We ask for the canter out of the sitting trot. We're going to use our outside leg, so in this case it's his right leg, behind the girth. And we're going to use our inside leg, which in this case is our left leg, at the girth. At the same, great question. It's at the same time. If you are in a great sitting trot, you don't have to. So that coming out of your posting trot, get yourself here and here. And then you want your legs to be to do most of the work and not have to rely so much on your seat pumping to get it done. Good. Very well done. Good. And the same thing in the canter as in the trot. Keep your reins shorter. Put your seat in the saddle and lift your hand. Lift your hand. Lift your hand. Very good. Lift your hand. Good. Good. And transition back to the trot. Good. And while you're out there, ride a half circle and change the direction. And we'll go large to the right. And in your next corner, transition back to the canter. Good. Good. Sit in. Good. And transition to trot. Good. And right in here to me. Transition to canter. Yep. Good work. Staying close to the saddle. Very good. Keep cantering. Keep cantering. Keep cantering. Good work. Keep going. And in your next corner, you're going to ask for the canter. Good. Yeah, good work. Good. Staying close to the saddle. Good. Keeping your leg bent and your heel down. Good work. And keep cantering. Shoulders back. Don't lean forward. Sitting trot. And canter. Good. Bend your arm. Close your fingers. Keep your leg on. Good. Now transition to trot. Good. And transition to walk. Okay, good work.
I noticed you're wearing a bracelet.
Yeah.
Can we see it?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Well, it's Buddhist. It's for protection and strength, and I certainly need that.
Yeah.
Oh, he's squeezing.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got
Oh, you have
good leg on.